niggas. I told y'all niggas. Y'all thought I was slim, but I told y'all niggas. I told y'all niggas.
What's up, everybody? Now you see the thumbnail. You know what we about to talk about. I'm pretty sure y'all done seen this shit ad nauseum, but you know what? Now it's time for me to get my own little kick to it. Which is pretty much is gonna be some stuff you probably already heard, but it's my own little spin on it. Now, now this whole Russell Westbrook thing. Now, just like I said in the last video with James Harden, Russ is another one of those players that I've been called a hater for over the years. And this year, it's funny that it took him to end up in a Laker uniform playing next to LeBron James for everybody to see this stuff. And then, of course, you got to add on the fact that he's also gotten older. He's clearly lost a step. He's clearly lost a wee bit of explosion. I still don't think it's a whole lot, but it's enough to where he can't get away with just being an athletic freak anymore. And this is what I've been saying for years. He has never evolved his game. You look at a tape of Russ in 2012 and look at a tape of Russ in 2022. The only difference you would notice is he has more body mass, has more muscle. That's it. That's it. And he doesn't look like a teenager anymore. That's it. But his game has not changed. Over the years, anytime I've said that over the years, people were like, oh man, look at his numbers and yada yada and all this other shit. And it, just like I said in the last video, a lot of them are what I call box score whores. All they see is points, rebounds, and assists. And don't even look at the whole box score in general. But fuck the box score. What are you seeing out there on the court? What type of decisions are being made? Now, Russ stands like to say, oh man, he had to get those triple doubles because, go look, whenever he got his triple doubles, that's when they won the most amount of games and yada, 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 and all this other shit. Okay, in the regular damn season. But what happened come playoff time? Oh, he didn't have no help, yada, yada. You know what? I'm so tired of hearing that bullshit. Because, and I'm going to go back to something Steph Curry said back in 2018. It's really insulting to sit there and say that a certain superstar doesn't have no help. These guys are professionals. Those guys out there are professional. And they can play this game way better than you can. So to sit there and say that this person has no help with this, and that, and all this other shit and just how that they're useless, it's insane. It's really insane and crazy how entitled people, or how far people go with their opinions to not really think about what they're saying. And who's saying it. Now that doesn't mean that you don't have the right to sit back, analyze, and express what you're saying. But to sit there and say that Russ didn't have any help is also foolish when you look at what happened with a lot of those guys when they left Russ. Victor Oladipo, Domantas Sabonis. Now, I will say with those two, those guys were younger. And they did need to develop a little bit more. That's true. But it's also insane that very next year, when they went to the Pacers, they both drastically improved. They both drastically improved. It's crazy. It's crazy how that happened. But yeah, we already know what everybody else. Once they got away from Russ, they got better. They were able to show their game more. I've been saying for years that, well, you know what? Let me say this. And I hate the media just as much as anybody else. I really do. Or anybody with some sense. I hate the media as much as anybody else. I really take a lot of the shit they say with a grain of salt. Or let me say this. I analyze it. I try to analyze it as objectively as possible. But I will say the one person out of the whole media that probably deserves an apology for this whole Russell Westbrook thing is Skip Bayless. Let's be real. He was probably the first person to say all this shit that's being said now. He said it back in 2011. He said this shit way back in 2011, and everybody looked at him like he was crazy, and also gave Russ the excuse of, oh, he's young, you know, give him some time to grow, yada, 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 and all this other shit. And they just completely, you know, they Skip like he was crazy. Don't get it twisted. Skip reaches a lot and be on some cap ass shit. He be on some cap ass shit sometimes too, man, especially for the people that he love. Oh, nah, he'll lie for their asses and make excuses for them. But there are times when he's telling the damn truth. A year later in the finals, Magic Johnson came out and said the same shit. And everybody got mad at Magic, didn't like what he said and tried to make him apologize and all this shit. And then we can go back just a few months ago. Stephen A. Smith said what he said. He didn't call. Honestly, he said it a lot nicer than Skip and Magic did. He said it a lot nicer than they did, and people still got mad at him. And Russ, whoever his PR team is, they suck in other areas. They clearly are yes man in other areas, but when it's time for him to respond to some scrutiny, or he's given time to, he can flip that shit. They do it perfectly, because the whole I'm a winner in life, I'm a champion in life shit, was masterful. Oh man, that shit was masterful. But it was still bullshit. And I brought that point up to segue to this, to what Russ said last night about, you know, yeah, I was disappointed I got benched, but I'm more disappointed that we lost the fucking game. Really, nigga? Really? After what you just said a couple months ago about winning or losing, life still goes on and stuff like that, which is true, which there is some truth to that. But you made it seem like winning a championship wasn't your number one priority, which people like me have been saying for years that it clearly wasn't. Because anybody that knows the game of basketball knows that heliocentric version, that offense that Russ likes to do, where he just dominating the ball all the fucking time and just running pick and rolls all the damn time, and especially for someone that's as inefficient as he is, turnover prone as he is, and cannot play the point in the half court for his life as he can, it wasn't going to work. So you have to move the ball around. And I'm going to give a good example of when that has happened. 2016, Western Conference Finals. Go back and watch games 1 through 4 when they went up 3-1. They didn't go up 3-1 just because Russ and Kevin Durant was just out there just hitting a whole bunch of fucking shots and playing a 2-on-5 ball like they were notoriously known for. Water, drink some. But no, that wasn't the case. They were playing team ball. They were moving the ball around. Russ kept his turnovers down, and they were winning. Golden State couldn't do nothing with them first 4 games for a reason, because they were playing team ball. Everybody was involved. Dion Waiters was getting touches. Ibaka was getting touches. Everybody was getting touches. Now, of course, Westbrook and Durant led the way, but everybody was getting touches. And then suddenly, Game 5 comes, and they just all of a sudden start playing that 2-on-5 ball. But anyways, though, and I also noticed that the media they're doing all they can to not throw some blame on LeBron in terms of how this whole thing is played out, when you have to. Now, this is the part where I say that people are starting to run with what I said, because I was one of the first people to say this shit, and now I'm starting to notice that everybody else is starting to say it too. The main reason why you have to give LeBron and AD some blame for this whole thing with Russ, not only because you already knew who Russ was, is everybody already knows who Russ is, but y'all specifically, y'all signed him, when did they sign him? July 2021, early August 2021 or whatever. You just saw him in the bubble in September 2020, not even a full year later, and you are signing him. The Lakers' game plan in the bubble was to make Russ beat them. That was the defensive game plan. We're going to make him beat us. They either double Harden, or they had somebody shadow helping, and they shut down the perimeter, and they had somebody in the paint waiting for us. But they allowed him to shoot. That was the game plan. Now, and I said that in my James Harden video as well too. that the funny thing about that series is, as much as I got on James Harden, that's the one series where I look at Harden and I go, you know what? I really can't say he played that bad. I can't say that he choked in that series. Harden was still putting up buckets. Now, that game 5 was terrible, but for the most part, Harden was still putting up buckets, even though he was getting double teamed and had help trailing his way the whole damn series. But Russ, y'all exposed him. Y'all exposed him so fucking bad. Y'all had this man over here arguing with Rondo's brother on the sidelines. And this nigga cutting y'all hair in the bubble. And every man knows you do not piss off a nigga that cut your hair. Never piss off a nigga that got a razor to your head. You never piss off your barber. Now, of course, we're gonna piss off our barber sometimes. You know, sometimes we cheat on our barber sometimes. Because sometimes they be fucking up. We know how that shit go. But come on, man. All jokes aside, like they got in his head so fucking bad. So fucking bad. That he was arguing with people on the sidelines. They ain't had nothing to do with the fucking game. Just because they called him trash. And I'm pretty sure Russ has heard a lot worse than that. We know Russ has heard a lot worse than that. A lot worse than that. So no, at the same time, I also noticed that the media in some ways is almost like, it's funny how this whole time they have been trying to, of course, you know, go to the whole thing, everything blaming it on Russ. And I'm just like, I agree. You can't blame all this on Russ. You can't. You can't blame all this on Russ. And I noticed they're also trying to go to the whole narrative of, well, AD hasn't been there. Nigga, they sucked when AD was there because he was playing like a bitch. He was playing like a little bitty bitch. They sucked when he was there. So you can't really use that excuse. They have just been bad. It was a horrible fit from the beginning. We all knew that shit. We all knew it. So cut the bullshit, man. Just listen. Like I said, I just noticed a lot of shit. But now the whole thing with Russ is almost like, well, they can't blame it on Frank Vogel. Because in a way, they almost like they were going to try to do that. But Frank Vogel was smart with what he did. So now they have to sit there and try to throw it towards the Lakers brass and the people in the front office because they're not going to blame it on LeBron. The media's not going to do that. Oh, no. There are a few people that have said, hey, you got to give LeBron some blame for this. You got to. But they try not to push that button too much. But all I'm saying is, in terms of this whole thing with Russ, I'm not, like I said, I'm one of the people that said that I saw this coming. I didn't think it was going to be this fucking bad, but I saw this coming. I've been saying for years that whenever his athleticism started to get away from him and injuries piled up, he was going to get exposed. And the funny thing about the Lakers is, y'all already exposed him in the bubble. Now, of course, people like to sit there and say, well, he was injured in the bubble, or he, you know, or not Laker fans, but Westbrook fans, he was injured in the bubble. He had the quad injury. Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I'm gonna keep saying this. Anybody ever played sports, they know this as well too. If you out there on that flow, you out there on the field, you expected to give 100%. And his injury wasn't a damn issue. The issue in that series was he was playing like a fucking idiot. Like always. That's the only reason that series with the Thunder went to 7 fucking games. Because they would have won game 6, but Russ played like a fucking idiot at the end of game 6. He gave them the fucking game. Just go back and watch this shit. Fuck the stack sheet. Just go back and watch. If you don't remember, because apparently y'all don't remember, but I'm gonna keep saying what I've been saying, and I'm gonna end this video with this. I wholeheartedly believe that a lot of current fans today do not really watch these fucking games. I wholeheartedly believe that y'all don't. Y'all just check the box score. Y'all just look at highlights. Y'all sit there and listen to Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp and Nick Wright of all fucking people, and y'all just go with that. I'm sorry this video went to 14 minutes, but I don't think y'all understand how long I have been waiting to get this shit off my chest, because I really have been called a hater all these years behind the shit with Russ, and I'm just watching 2021, 2022, and I'm just like, I tried to tell y'all. I tried to tell y'all. Like, just pay attention, man. The game is more than just highlights and dunks and shit like that. You gotta be able to do more than that. Because you're not gonna always be faster than everybody. You're not gonna always be able to jump higher than everybody. And you're not always gonna be stronger than everybody. You gotta get old. We all are experiencing that. Especially when you hit 30. It hits you. I don't care what type of shape you in, it hits you at some point. But anyways, though, this video went on way longer than I wanted it to. So like, comment, share, subscribe. Once again, also check out my beat page, Sir Darkskin. I might change the name of that damn channel, but the link will be in the script in the description. You probably hear one of my beats in the background right now. All right, y'all, peace.